here, but let me make this thing clear. You're not getting any free rounds from me. Always high in your list, claims me for everything. So now you've got my art as a BFB. Waiting, waiting, baby, you've been waiting to have your account safely. Listen, listen, Brooksy, listen to everyone looking you, cause you're just a kid. Whoa, you better take your chances right now, cause you're just a kid. You already know that you won't make it further down this round, cause you're just a kid. Whoa, you better make another account now, cause you're just a kid. No faking you when you're considered the worst guy around. Trying too hard, but she's not letting you tap. Now you're acting like the hydro give you half. They made it on the wrong guy, but then it seems that I lowered your score, so you lost to AI. No one voted you to join BTD's tourney, but meanwhile everyone here was hyping you. Then after said that you lose, cause you're just a kid. Whoa, you better take your chances right now, cause you're just a kid. You already know this is your best solo and I wonder how, cause you're just a kid. Whoa, you better make another account now, cause you're just a kid. No faking you, even voices telling you to say bow.
Shut up, bro.
Looking in just for me, but you still won't pass the beat. No wonder you have the last friend, they're drowning here. And you can't talk about art when your renders look like that. You could've faxed me cause I'm used to save your ass. Nah, won't give you a hand, you're getting rejected again. Being betrayed by a friend and getting known by DRL. Now Lil B is getting the step for one, he's rapping me. After I checked his tier list, he's the one saying that I'm beating him. No, I'm hitting you more than purity, more than your glaze from my run free. I got map for your throat, but there's no need. You're getting stream luck for all to see. Being the son of bone, always put gun my ears hit when you sing. When you rap you cannot stop mumbling, but you know after all you're just a kid. You're tough saying lost to ghost, yeah you lost to lander. At this point I'll tell you to say bow, but you are faster. Angels thinking he will be hot stuff, but people disagrees with it. Try to act nonchalant and use glad, but to build your underneath. We don't need the alphabet to see that you're dropping high C. Raymond the fire got high more chances to join BTDs. Acting sped but thinking loser everyday routine body. That dude's got a penis is what your art makes me think, buddy. Don't even try it with me, you won't get a free win. I won't be forced to do any of that shit. And if he wasn't replaced, you'd be cooked anyway. So take a seat and bring them someone from the Little League.
My bitch, I take it, that's this feature you didn't expect this. But it doesn't matter, you play soccer, well take your ball and I'll intercept this. There's a reason why Max and Lucas had sent you into a panic of a between both our towns, one's better and it's touchdown capital. Replacing, you can't skate me, stay back it over my MVP. Only color seems great, goddamn you're B. But like when you kick me, you're a pussy. Took dick from the goo and hunted by blue. I don't understand why you make balls of blue. I don't wanna hate, but I do the shit for fun. Rob Cypher man, you were just a dumbass bum.
kids yet, but soon there's one for the making. It seems your stake is just out, and the slash you won't be taken. Am around to you were glazing, I'm around to you show hatred. Wait, how you got can't you war right killer, but back in that day you wanted to start killer. He's not underneath the tree, but he wishes it was him and not my seed. Not going to mention but anyway, but you guys all share the same birthday. He's a furry, he's an e-boy, he's a girl, but let me explain. Gotta call Andorra, you're calling cause at least he's straight, no? Pop time for the backseat, back the Hawaiian stuff dick, pumping cherries like referee, leave you dead and buried, cause even me left while you were buried. Even with bears goes right off stage, but Maxie doesn't get booed off the stage. But I'm repping the thing and I'm bringing the flame in my teeth, that's a murder of
I heard he's feeling it for dirt, all this place best stays unknown. Penguin bow and be read, the rest to send you home. Drawing all his furries, keep it on the down low. What you'll make on top in and like your friend you'll blow. They said he's going
The home is where you're going. When you touch transformation, if they're making nation and be versus you, and it's a final destination. Stretch as much you wanted to be Beatbox versus your tendencies. When he talks about cloud, he's blowing it too. We can't care for your tendencies. Lots of NB twice, the odds and the bugs think we should brew them. Made fun about English, hablas muy mal, y así de puta. Hold on, fine handshakes, I find it ridiculous. Don't get too much about your face, my boy, you're fucking ridiculous.
I heard he's filling it for dirt, all the basement stays unknown. Penguin bow and be read, the rest to send you home. Drawing all his furries, keep it on the down low. What you make on top it, and like your friend you blow. They say he's going.
It's time for you to raise the tempo. Makes sense that you're rapping bow, but yet again you hit for it techno. So I'll leave you stuck with Satan. You ask if foxy ass titties. Well, I will admit your fit is fire. You gain horny to a sleeping kitty. So take a look in your mirror as you need time to reflect. So just because I am a bear doesn't mean my roast deflects. When all you say is I'm a kid while you're messing with pity, and reflection is done and your run is all gone and you controversially talk kids.
I hear he's feeling it for dirt, all this patient stays unknown. Penguin bow and be read, the rest to send you home. Trolling all his furries, keep it on the down low. What you'll make on top it, and like your friend you'll blow. They say they going up, send you going up, send you going up, send them going up.
Oh my god, I'm done with this fucking beatbox. Thank you guys, thank you. I'd like to thank everybody I showed progress to, like the GC, Zing Isle also, I showed them some stuff. There's also Gooner Squad, Frog House, Burger Squad, YNC, that counts, Metro. Codemeister, especially like for my researching, but I also did most of it myself. Where's my poster of people I need to shout out at? Me, Lucas, Penguin, AC to 4 Cypher, DeMarcus, Bishop, Planner, Wiz, Aguafo, Bono, J Code, Pichu, Goofy, Rain, Lucas, Shadow, and Stickbug.
I heard he's taking it in turn.
Hi guys, what are you looking at today?
I learned a
no,
new
you did not.
beatbox
You did
skill.
not just say you learned a new beatbox today. Oh, okay, let's hear this. Oh shit. Yo, oh my god, Lucas, oh my god. Yo, oh my god, he's killing this. No way, Lucas. Yo, oh my god, that's crazy. Yo, are you guys hearing this right now? Oh my god. No, that's insane. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna get this. I'm practically starting to get this one, guys. Oh my, yo, funky beat. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me rap with the beat. Cause you're just a kid. Whoa, you better take your chances right now. Cause you're just a kid. I'm begging you. When you're consider the worst I have done. Yeah, Lucas. Meow.
What's good, everybody? So, first things first, you'll notice that mostly this one, but some strands of my hair are noticeably longer, I should say, than the rest of my hair. I'm aware the reason is because my coworkers got curious and wanted to straighten some strands of my hair just to see how long that my hair was. They were just curious, so I was like, sure, fuck it. They actually wanted to straighten the whole thing, but I was like, fuck that, I don't want straight hair. So that's why where the fuck is it? This strand is so much longer than the rest of my. Here, I'll let you see it. But it goes all the way down here below my titties. So like, yeah, that's your explanation for that. I know it looks weird as hell. It is what it is. Anyways, so basically, I do have a few thoughts I want to share about this battle, because this is probably my favorite battle so far. I fucking love this one. It is, and I'm sure everybody is gonna point this out immediately after they see the results. It is not nearly as close as you would have expected, and for me personally, it's also not the outcome I expected. I did expect Brooks to win after I heard the beatboxes, but like going before this battle, I thought Lucas was gonna be like at least a round 4 contender. Like, I'm being for real. I thought he was making like round 4 semis, because Lucas is stacked. He's incredibly good categorically. So, but I do believe Brooks exceeded my expectations and Lucas did underperform. That is my stance on that, which is unfortunate, but like, what can you do? So I do also want to say, in terms of just how the beatboxes sound, it is far closer, like far closer, because Lucas's beatbox sounds really good. It just does. But you'll notice, if you saw the scores, you'll notice that he just did do good, like really good, in all of those categories. It's lyrics that really brought it down. So like, do I think in a vacuum Lucas is a low B beatbox? No, I definitely don't. But that just goes to show that like, if you want to get a good tier or win a battle, you gotta do consistently good everywhere. And that just having one bad category can make a load of a difference. So I hope when we get to Lucas's lyrics, you guys will hear me out. I believe the rest of his scores are like, they're definitely above average. Every other score that he got is above average. But yeah, I need to take out this bottle right away. Like, I need to do that really soon. I'm gonna do that after this. That's been there since the last one, maybe the last couple. Same with that Pepsi. I need to get rid of that. Anyway, that's all the yap I wanted to do. I just did have those thoughts about this battle. Do I think this is like a crazy outcome? No, not really when you see the beatboxes, but it was unexpected. But anyway, let's just get into why. So we're gonna start with Lucas, starting with vocals, which is a 16 out of 20. So when it comes to Lucas's vocals by themselves, while I do think Lucas is an overall good singer, I do have an issue being Lucas does lack some passion in his vocals, most especially in the rapping vocals. So I found this to be like a moderately sized problem, seeing as this does happen somewhat often, especially on Lucas's last verse. So this did result in a bigger deduction, but that's the only issue I do have with the vocals. So besides this, I find Lucas to be a very good singer. While I don't think he hits much crazy notes in this beatbox, he does stay consistent with the notes that he does hit. So, however, what makes their vocals stand out for me on their own is the use of vibrato. So vibrato, for those who don't know, is a decently hard vocal technique where you add a little vibration to your voice. And I think Lucas is he's pretty well versed in this. It sounds pretty good. So I found this to not just be impressive, but also fit very well with the beatbox itself. I've had a drink here for hours, and I forgot. It's watery now. It's a dark berry bash from Applebee's. Anyway. So, I already glazed vibrato. I had to remember where I was. So I also want to talk about the harmonies, which is probably the best part of the beatbox as a whole for me. So I don't have a lot to say about them specifically. They're just very clean. They blend together very well in every part of the beatbox, and that's about it. They're pretty complex too. I listened to it layer by layer. They're just really good. What do you want me to say? So I don't have too much more to say. There's also some pretty good vocal chops in the background vocals. I like those. Speaking of the background vocals, very good, by the way. The only other thing I really want to bring up vocal-wise is beatboxing. Lucas does have a pretty good amount of vocal-based sounds, which we'll go more into when we get to beatboxing itself. But I don't think this ended up affecting vocals here. I did want to bring it up anyway because it's vocal sounds, but I don't think they were clean enough to warrant a boost in the score here. Which is, again, another thing we'll get into later. But overall, that's about it. It's a solid category for Lucas. He has many strong suits here. Just could have been better, and I do have that one issue. That was about it. So lyrics, this is what I really want you guys to like listen clearly on. 9 out of 20. So as said already, this category, it falls short for Lucas. As for the roast, this was not a strong suit for Lucas. There's not a lot of direct roast to Brooks, and Brooks is a pretty roastable guy. Not too good. Like he's somewhat hard to roast, but like he's there. You can make a very good script against him. So, like roast-wise, of course. So the thing is, most of the roast here are just random occurrences that happened to have Brooks in them, but they aren't really roasts. You know, does that make sense? I think I worded that the best I could, so I hope you guys know what I mean by that. So, of course, Lucas does still have some decent roast in here, but I can't say the ones that he does have are good enough against Brooks to really make up for this issue, especially of how common it ended up being. So, I do also know that this isn't like a hard solo. He's not really like trying to really dig into Brooks, which is completely fine. If you want to make a lighthearted beatbox, I have no problems with that, and I'm not going to deduct you for it. The thing is, like, if you're going to do that, not only do you need writing to back it up well, which we're gonna get to later, we'll get into that later, but also, like, you do still need something. Like, the best roast in your beatbox being just, like, basic gotchas that any beatbox against this person could end up using. That if that's what your best material is here, especially against an opponent like Brooks or someone else with like pretty good material on them, it does end up being a problem. So I'd say this ends up being like below average. Unfortunately, as I said, this does not end up being saved by the writing, which is another pretty big problem. So like many beatboxes so far, a majority of the lyrics here are just kind of roast being thrown in there without much writing behind them, which, again, as brought up with the roast not being all that good, this is even bigger of an issue than usual. So, a majority, there's still some good bars, but like, it's not enough to make up for this at all. The other problems that I find worth mentioning is how much filler is in the beatbox, most commonly in the pre-choruses. So like, it feels like there's a lot of points where Lucas is just trying to fill in syllables, is what I mean. So anyway, that's really about it. I did end up giving this a 9 out of 10 because like, while I am mostly negative with this, it's not terrible. None of these are to like an awful extent. It's bad, but it's not to like a really, really bad extent. So I didn't give it like a really low score, but I did have to put it right below the middle, so I gave it a 9. I thought that would be fair. So anyway, one thing I do want to point out that I feel like some people are going to bring up is Lucas is not... English isn't Lucas's native language. Which is like, I get it. I get that can cause some issues. However, I don't think this ends up being as much of a defense here as it would have been in his earlier solos. Not just because he's gotten better at English now, but also because I feel like this would only really apply to like wordplay maybe to how some of the sentences are structured as well, but not only was that not that big of an issue here, but also, like, if that was the case, I would be willing to look past it, just because I get that's a translation thing. That would not be Lucas's fault. I get it. I do. So, like, what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't really save anything in this. It could save some things, but those things didn't really apply to this solo. So overall, this ends up being a very below average category. Well, not very below, but a below average category for Lucas. And it was definitely the reason why he ended up scoring a low B. I think had he had the lyrics that he typically has the most of his beatboxes, this would have scored a high B, if not a low A. I don't think Lucas would have won. Brooks really did phenomenal. But I do think it would have given it a much better score than what Lucas got here. Anyway, I'm gonna make sure nothing's bugging right now. Okay. On to beatboxing. I dropped my phone, by the way. So, the best part of this category for Lucas is by far the raw beatboxing, like beatboxing on its own. Lucas is much more talented at beatboxing than most of the community, and that's just how it is. He is. So this alone is like a massive boost in score. Like, Lucas's most important sounds here, in my opinion, are throat bass, chest bass, and inward bass. Tongue bass is also worth mentioning, mainly due to how strong this can be in a beatbox, as you guys have been proving so far. But anyway, it is worth mentioning that Lucas isn't the cleanest with these sounds. However, this doesn't take away too much, because this is still the community average that we're grading it on. In a professional beatbox setting, this would be very detrimental, but in a community like this one, where beatboxing doesn't have a very high skill gap at all, the fact that Lucas still does have these sounds properly, even if they're not clean, is extremely good for him compared to everybody else. This is a huge help for Lucas. So anyway, what will cause a deduction here, and why this didn't end up getting a near perfect score? I mean, I guess it technically did. 17 is extremely high. But why it didn't get higher than this, even with this extreme boost in skill level, is because mostly the usage. So firstly, Lucas's combos at several parts. Okay. Is because even though his sound set is very skillful, Lucas's combos with them at several parts of the beatbox are incredibly sloppy. It's to a point where he has to, like, gasp for air in the middle of his combos. Like, no matter how good your sound set is, doing this in the middle of combos, especially in, like, a YBB beatbox, is just not gonna sound good. It doesn't. I don't want to listen to you breathe in my ear. Unless it's, like, something cool, like a inward drag or something. But, like, you know what I mean, like an inhale, like a which Lucas does a lot. It's just not good. You don't want to do that. And that could have been fixed by cleaner combos. If he had, like, a better structure in between the combos themselves, a better balance between inward and outward sounds, it would have been better. I know that is pretty strict, because, like, that is a more high-level thing to talk about in this community. But when you're trying to put high-level sounds inside a beatbox, you have to watch out for those. It's like a double-edged sword. It can be a huge boost, but if you mess it up like this, it won't be as good as it could have been. That's just how it is. Now, besides all of that, I don't have too much more to say. Something I could mention is, like, the usage of it, which is, like, it's just alright. For most of it, it does feel like Lucas is mostly just freestyling over the beat, but since he has sounds that naturally strengthen the instrumentals and, like, everything else about the beatbox anyway, I think that kind of evens that out. But, like, yeah, that's really about it. The usage is just, you beatboxed and it sounded good. That's about it. So overall, this was very carried by the skill level, like, very. But that's all. That's really all you need when you're as good as this. So that's about it. Overall, I think Lucas is a very talented beatboxer. It's a 17 out of 20. Whoa, 15 out of 20. So flow, as if most beatboxes so far, it's good. Lucas manages to stay flowing smooth while singing, but rapping is also mostly consistent. Mostly on huge emphasis because, like, Lucas is slightly late on a couple lines, but this doesn't really get in the way all very much. It just prevents it from being perfect. Though, something absolutely worth of praise is that all of the rapping is an original flow. The remix choice does not have any at all, so, like, while this is a pretty basic flow, so, like, this doesn't score as much extra as it could, it still helps, like, by far. So, one quick gripe I do have to say, though, is, like, right here. This is very noticeably offbeat. This lyric, it repeats 4 times here, and 3 of them are offbeat. So, the example I just played is the most notable occurrence of this. And this isn't the biggest gripe ever, because it's only for this one part. But also, this is the first thing that you hear in the beatbox. This is the very start of it. So, like, this prevents you from being able to, like, get into the groove of the solo right away, which is, like, it's a pretty unfortunate problem. But that's about it, really. So overall, Lucas proves to be a very strong and original rapper, and also a smooth singer. There's just a few disruptions from scoring this higher for me. That's about it. 15 out of 20. Take a sip of my drink. Ugh. Moving on to other, which is a -1. I feel really bad to do this, but because, like, no hate to Dirtle, but this verse unfortunately is a noticeable downgrade to the solo for me. And for a lot of people, it seems like it's kind of split, but I think a majority aren't really a fan of Dirtle on the beatbox, unfortunately. This sounds so mean, dude. But anyway, there is a reason for this. I'm not just hating. This is because of Dirtle having, like, noticeably less passionate vocals. This was already a problem I had with Lucas, but, like, it's worse with Dirtle here. The layering is worse as well. It's just kind of like a high note. Not even a high note, like a medium note over just a low one. That's about it. And just an overall unfitting flow, especially when you compare it to the rest of the beatbox. Now this doesn't mean the feature's bad. It's not. It still sounds good on its own. But it's just worse than all of the rest of the solo because of this. But it still sounding good on its own is why this is only a -1 and not any higher than that. So, point is, there shouldn't have been a feature. It would have been better if it was just Lucas. So that's a 56 out of 80 in the low B. I've already been recording for 20 minutes. And we've only done 1. So this is when most judging segments would be almost over. I yapped a bit too, but, like, damn. 20 minutes of recording this, by the way. Obviously, a lot of it's going to be cut out, but you know. Brooks! 16 out of 20 on the vocals. There's not too much to say about this, but, like, it's definitely an above average category for Brooks. Brooks has very strong rapping vocals. He has consistently very good emotion and strength in his delivery. And Brooks is also very good at including grit in his voice properly. So Brooks is good at including this just to add delivery to his stronger bars. And why this is important to point out is because, like, this helps his technique to not be overdone in the beatbox, which is, like, a very common problem many beatboxers who use this technique have. You can probably think of a few or someone. So overall, Brooks, but yeah, that makes the rest of it not feel forced and actually adds emphasis like it's supposed to. So overall, while rapping vocals are strong for Brooks, his singing isn't something to overlook either. I don't think Brooks has the craziest vocal range when it comes to pitch, at least. But, like, it's still good. What's more important is the notes themselves that Brooks is capable of hitting. Like, the chorus, for example, is filled with impressive notes, especially the second half of it. And Brooks is also very consistent at hitting these as well. It's good. So what does prevent this from scoring higher is, while there's no problems I have with this, there's still very clear improvements to be made. The big one I have here is harmonies. Like, Brooks isn't bad at these. They're good for what they are, and, like, they work, but they're still incredibly simple. What I mean by that is they're just, like, high notes over low notes for a majority of this, if not all of it. So the beatbox, it still sounds good. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it could have sounded so much fuller and, like, better Had it just had better harmonies. So this isn't something that's gonna deduct. You're not gonna get a deduction for it, obviously. But what I mean is, like, you could have gotten more points had you had it. That's pretty much all there is with that. One other thing to point out is the background vocals. So these are very good, but in some of the layers, there's like voice cracks on the second "I'll send you home" of each loop. I hope you guys understand what I mean by that. So this isn't terrible, because like you can hardly hear it due to the main categories being over it and like kind of negating it. But when you do notice it, and hopefully you will after I point this out, because I want you guys to know what I'm talking about. But when you do start to hear it, it does become way more noticeable, and it does unfortunately make this part of the beatbox a little less strong than it once was, or in my case, what it could have been. Because I mean, I'll look into this instantly. I'm gonna know. So, anyways, overall, what this category boils down to me is it's definitely very good, but it just has a lot of work that can be done on it as well. So overall, it's a 16 out of 20. You did very good. Just got room for improvement. Lyrics, 18 out of 20. God damn. So this is the first beatbox that I've graded so far where I think every lyric is good. So firstly, every roast in this beatbox is either incredibly hard-hitting, or obscure, or clever as hell. Shout out to showing the CSA drawing. I can't give like a bonus point for showing this, obviously, because that's bullshit. But I'm so glad you put that there. This shit is so fucking funny. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. To top it off, there's also a roast like this in nearly every bar. God, dude. So Lucas is like, he's pretty roastable. Don't get me wrong, but like, this still shows that you have done a lot of research into this beatbox, and that is very good. That's a very good thing. And if you didn't, you just have like photographic memory or something, dude. Holy shit. Anyway, to top that off, this beatbox is also occupied by incredible writing. As already mentioned, nearly every bar will include a roast, which is like, it's already incredible writing on its own. But as already mentioned, like, nearly every bar will include a roast. Even the few bars that don't include a roast will still do a good job at leading into a lyric that will roast Lucas. I took so many takes on that line, you guys don't even know. So anyway, as a result, I believe there is no filler in this beatbox, and that is fucking incredible. So not only is this category flawless, I think it excelled in everything as well. What prevents this from scoring higher, you might ask, as with the last category, is just 19 and 20 as a score is reserved for even better lyrics. That's it. So overall, good shit, dude. I believe this is the highest lyric score so far. Beatboxing, 16 out of 20. I almost said 19, that's just not true. First things first, the sounds. Brooks' sound set, it's decently simple, but it's effective for the community standards. So his main sound, as has been with a few people, is mainly just tongue bass. And he's decently clean with it. It could be punchier, but he's clean with it. The real strong suit here is Brooks has this sound and he puts it in his combos. So this helps Brooks connect his drums way better in ways that sound much better than it could have if it was just like some other random drum. Is what I mean. So anyway, there are some parts where this can be done a bit sloppy, but like it doesn't get in the way very much, if at all. I don't think you'll notice it unless you go into the project. So said drums are incredibly good when it comes to matching the beat as well. This combined with tongue bass being an incredibly strong sound with community beatboxes already, and also being inside the combos, leads to very good usage, and that makes this a very good category for Brooks. So tongue bass combos are around an intermediate level, I want to say. So this is definitely above average in each thing it needs to be. Just burped. Excuse me. The only thing preventing this from a higher score is that it could just be better. It could. Same with the last two categories. It's also like a tad quiet, but it's not inaudible, so that's alright. So overall, yeah, solid shit, dude. Good job, Brooks. And now flow, which is 17 out of 20. Following the trend as like literally every other category so far, Brooks is just incredibly consistent at what he does. Brooks, like many so far, is a very smooth and solid singer and an impressive rapper. Brooks does not miss a beat in either of these, and he's decently precise between his syllables as well when it comes to rapping. Most importantly though, most of the rapping is an original flow. Good shit. Not all of it, let that be clear, but like most of it. So overall, once again, I don't have a lot to say specifically. It's just consistently really good at everything it needs to be. It can only score higher just by improving. And that, dude, I said that for every category. That gives Brooks a 67 out of 80, low A. I think Brooks is going to be a threat in this. Very unexpected competitor. Very unexpected even be in the tournament because I didn't put him in the cast. He got voted in. For those who know. For those who don't know. Like, I literally didn't put him in the cast. I didn't. Other people did. So not only did he surprise me, he beat fucking Lucas in round 1, who, as stated earlier, I thought was going to make round 4. That's impressive, dude. I'm highly impressed with Brooks. I hope Brooks makes it far. Very good job, dude. As I said with every category, I'm going to glaze a little bit. As I said with every category for Brooks, there's no problems with them. I think this ended up being a flawless beatbox. I don't remember what I even just talked about. But I don't think I had a single flaw with the beatbox. The only reason that it only scored low A is just because he can improve. And he's gonna improve. Like, he just will. At least I'm confident he will. I don't think it'll get worse. That'd be weird. But yeah, so I think Brooks is gonna be a threat. I think y'all better watch out. Whoever gets Brooks in round 2, you better watch out. Don't underestimate him. Anyway, glaze is over. This is an incredibly long judging segment. I'm gonna see you guys around. Here's some slime. It's very hard now, but I'm playing with it anyway. Bye, everybody.